After 25 years of marriage, my husband's business collapsed after he was swindled. He grabbed a kitchen and went to seek revenge on his adversary. He left me a note. It said that even though he hadn't left me or our son any money, we were the people he loved most in his heart. Moved by his words, I risked my life to save him. Fearing he couldn't cope, I even used my personal and inheritance to encourage him to get back on his feet. To my surprise, his eyes lit up, and he actually pushed me. The fatal knife wound landed on my head, and I died on the spot. After my death, my husband swiftly used the compensation money to marry his secretary. Even our son willingly called her mom. It was then I realized that my death was nothing but a scheme by him and our son. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day my husband sought revenge. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and let us know in the comments where you're listening from. Seeing the note my husband left again, it dawned on me that I had been reborn. My son, Ethan, anxiously pulled me towards the door. "Why are you still standing there? Dad's gone to fight someone to the death. Aren't you his wife? Hurry, you drive, I'll call the police, we'll work together to save him. Dad absolutely cannot get hurt." In my previous life, he tricked me just like this. Even at the moment of my death, I never saw the police arrive. But this time, I wasn't going to expose him, it wasn't the right moment yet. I nodded quickly and got into the car. I made the 30-minute drive in 10. My husband was covered in blood, locked in a fierce struggle with the other man. "You bastard! How dare you trick me into signing that contract? You've ruined me. If I can't live, you won't get off easy either." He angrily, but the kitchen in his hand carefully avoided the other man's body. After several minutes of struggle, he didn't even touch a single hair on his opponent. If he were truly furious, how could he be so rational? My heart instantly turned to ice. Ethan was still desperately pulling at me from the side, cursing me for standing by and doing nothing, saying I wasn't fit to be his real mother. But I knew he wanted me to go over there only so I could be his father's scapegoat, to earn his stepmother a large inheritance. In my previous life, their plan was for Marcus to suddenly suffer a heart attack during this incident and pass away after failed resuscitation. That way, the company assets would be transferred, and they wouldn't have to go through a divorce lawsuit. But then I unexpectedly pulled out $5 million, which made Marcus temporarily change his plan and attack me instead. After I died, I witnessed how Marcus and his young secretary were engaging in an affair in our home, and how my own son, whom I had raised with my own hands, adored this beautiful young stepmother. I bit my lip hard, watching the scene unfold before me. This time, I didn't intervene, nor did I take out my savings. Sure enough, Marcus soon clutched his heart and collapsed to the ground. The man opposite him was terrified and immediately threw down his kitchen. "I didn't do anything. Don't try to extort me." Ethan shot me a hateful glare, blaming me for not stepping in to save his father in time. Then, without another word, he helped Marcus into the car and rushed to the hospital. Looking at the less than reputable private, I deliberately spoke up. "Son, this clinic is too small. I'm afraid their technology might not be sufficient. How about we transfer him? City General Hospital is only 3 kilometers away, we have time." Ethan glared at me fiercely. "What were you doing just now? It's easy for you to talk when you're not in pain. The family's bankrupt. Do you think we have money to go to a big hospital? Are you planning to sell a kidney or sell yourself? Dad ended up like this because of this family. I never thought you'd be such a heartless person. If anything happens to him, I am not done with you. See? He's already paving the way to disown me." A thick of examination requests was made, but the results were all out in less than half an hour. The patient is in critical condition. It's a heart attack caused by years of unhealthy lifestyle habits, compounded by significant stress today, leading to internal bleeding. He's still being resuscitated. The patient's family should prepare themselves. No sooner had the doctor finished speaking than Ethan started yelling at me. The doors suddenly opened, and Ethan cleared his throat. He adjusted his hair in the glass, as if he had suddenly become a different person. "Miss Chloe, why are you here? Dad's in a bad way. The doctor said we should prepare ourselves." The woman he called Ms. Chloe looked to be only 30, and well-maintained. She wasn't much older than my son. Combining everything that happened in my previous life, I was so furious I almost burst out laughing on the spot. So, the reason these two, father and son, were conspiring was because they both had eyes for the same woman? My face turned cold. "Who are you? Are you related to my husband? This is a hospital, only family members can sign. Unauthorized personnel, please leave immediately." Before could speak, my son flared up. "Mom, watch your tone. This is Ms. Chloe, Dad's secretary at the company. You just stay home all day doing laundry and cooking. You know nothing about the company projects, so of course you don't recognize her. Ethan grumbled endlessly, complaining that I only knew how to do housework and didn't care about his aging father's physical and mental health. That's why his dad's heart attack had been brewing. I pretended to wipe away tears. You're right. It was all Mom's fault in the past. Mom has decided not to leave the hospital until your dad wakes up. I'll stay here and keep him company. If your dad really doesn't make it, Mom can see him off on his final journey. Since they like to act, I'd give them a chance. You want to scheme against me? I'll make you squirm first. No sooner had I spoken than Ethan and Chloe exchanged a look, and he said urgently, no. You staying here will only lead to crying and anxious worry. What good will that do? You'll only hinder the doctors from saving him. I cried even harder. Son, then what should I do? Your dad is the only man I've ever had in my life. I can't bear to lose him. If the doctors can't save your dad, I won't live either. Seeing me fall into their trap, a glint of triumph flashed in Ethan's eyes. The next second, I slapped my thigh. That's right. Your dad's company is in trouble, and we can't even scrape together enough for medical bills. I'll use this time to check the company's accounts. Maybe I can find crucial evidence. If only I could make that bastard cough up the money he swallowed. Ethan pretended to stop me, saying he was afraid I'd be retaliated against by that bastard, since he didn't even care about Marcus, a living person. I patted my chest confidently. Don't be afraid. Mom used to be the company's accountant. For your dad, it's worth risking my old life. Actually, I had long forgotten my professional knowledge. I said this deliberately to trick them. Sure enough, Chloe's face changed the next second. No. You can't go. She stepped in front of me, and anger flared on my face. Do you, a secretary, have the right to tell me what to do? The company's bankrupt, and you can't even get your salary, but you're not worried? Are you here volunteering? What benefits did my husband give you to make you so devoted? I leaned closer to her and whispered, could it be that you two have a deal I don't know about? Grace, what are you talking about? Mr. Marcus and I are completely innocent, there's nothing going on. If it were for money, I would have resigned and jumped ship like the other employees long ago. Ethan also stood by her, accusing me of making a big deal out of nothing. In every word, he portrayed his father as a great benefactor, and Chloe as only staying out of gratitude for his kindness. Mom, can't you just consider me? Dad's fate is uncertain, I can't lose you too. As for the medical fees, I'll figure it out, even if I have to borrow money or take out a bank loan. Seeing that the act was complete, I choked up, deeply moved. Thankfully, you're here. Otherwise, Mom really wouldn't know what to do. Mom, I'll watch over Dad here. He'll definitely be hungry when he wakes up, so why don't you go get some food and then relieve me later? Chloe visibly exhaled in relief. I didn't expose them and nodded in agreement. Turning around, I pretended to be distraught and unable to see the way, walking into the stairwell. Once out of their sight, I quietly stood at the corner of the hallway. Sure enough, 2 minutes after I left, the operating room doors actually opened. To cut down on acting costs, Marcus was actually underneath the doctor's lab. Marcus spat onto the ground in disgust. That bitch is really troublesome. I almost blew it just now. She actually wants to check my company's accounts? Who does she think she is? Ethan, suppressing his anger, forced a smile. Dad is still the clever one, coming up with this idea. When you're really gone, she'll be overcome with grief, won't suspect a thing, and might even blame herself for life. Then I'll shift the blame onto her, saying she didn't take good care of you, which led to your death. When she's upset, she'll probably transfer all that money to me. Then I'll disown her, and she'll never find us for the rest of her life. Chloe, as the sole beneficiary of the plan, was now pretending to be innocent. Mr. Marcus, Mr. Ethan, won't this be too cruel to Grace? She's been your wife for 25 years, and Mr. Ethan's mother after all. What if you regret it someday? I'm afraid I won't be able to compensate you. My husband reassured her that our marriage had long been a sham, just two people living together. Thinking about lying in the same bed with me every night, he was so disgusted he couldn't eat. If he hadn't met Chloe, he would never have known the taste of true love in this life. Ethan, though angry, dared not speak out, only echoing his father, disparaging me as a frumpy who only nagged him to eat on time and wear enough clothes. He treats people like idiots, just talks nonsense if there's no money. I'm this old, how could I forget to eat or dress myself? Does she need to remind me? Chloe is so much better, she personally brings me lunch and picks out my jackets. She's beautiful too. You little brat, I told you to call her Ms. Chloe. Are you asking for a beating? Forget it, just call her mom later. Don't let it happen again. Hearing this, the 25 years of sincerity I had poured into this family completely died. I turned and left the hospital. On my way to buy food, I made a phone. Henry, can you help me? If you do, I'll solve your problems afterwards. After buying food, I was waiting for the elevator when Ethan's phone called. Mom, it's bad. Dad's surgery failed, he's gone. I pinched my thigh hard, my voice instantly choked, and the lunchbox in my hand fell to the ground. What did you say? How could this happen? I pretended to panic and hung up the phone. I climbed 8 floors in one breath. Ethan immediately started yelling at me, it's all your fault. If you had gone to save Dad earlier, he wouldn't have died. How much Dad sacrificed for this family over these past 20 years. Now that he's gone, this family is broken too. I don't have a heartless and cruel mother like you. It's all Mom's fault, it's all Mom's fault. My mouth crumpled, and I cried hysterically, throwing myself onto Marcus's hospital bed. My wailing echoed through the entire room. Ethan and Chloe were so disturbed that they had to temporarily hide outside. I took the opportunity to reach in and test him. Sure enough, the skin over his heart was intact, his heartbeat strong, there was no sign of surgery at all. More importantly, I found he seemed to have no sensation at all. Perhaps he'd been given some medication to make the act more convincing. Since he wronged me first, I didn't need to be polite with him. I grabbed a surgical knife and plunged it into his groin. You betrayed me, you cheated on me. I'll destroy your tool, let's see how you'll live after this. The moment blood spurted out, I covered him with the thick blood-stained document, leaving no visible traces. When re-entered the room, my emotions had calmed, but my eyes were still filled with grief. Rest in peace. I will definitely take good care of our son for you and watch him grow up and start his own family. Disgust flashed in Ethan's eyes, but he forced himself to speak. My condolences. Dad may be gone, but the company's affairs aren't over yet. The doctor said he left a will in the operating room. Take a look, and if there are no issues, proceed as instructed. A blood-stained document with a bloody handprint was handed to me. I glanced at it and almost broke down right there. That dead man actually issued a letter of understanding to his assailant. He truly didn't want to leave me a single penny of benefit. Seeing my expression change, Ethan immediately snatched the document away. Don't look at it. The more you look, the sadder you'll get. I forced a smile. It's fine. Mom respects your dad's decision. Whatever he did, it was all for our good, for me and our son. Before could fully relax, I added, there's no time for a funeral now. We can only cremate him as soon as possible to make time for the company's affairs. How about this, you handle the hospital procedures, and Mom will take your dad first. Saying this, I made to leave with Marcus. Chloe blocked the hospital bed with one hand. No. My face turned cold, and she offered a forced smile, explaining, Grace, what I mean is, you're already very tired today. I can handle tea. A small matter. Besides, Mr. Marcus left you some things, and you have many things to attend to. Who takes him for cremation is all the same. Hearing this, I understood. She must have made arrangements with the funeral. Cremating was not an option now. But I didn't want them to have their way either. Chloe, what did my husband leave me? How do you know about it? Even if I have a pile of things waiting for me, it's only right that I see my husband off on his final journey first, isn't it? Ethan shielded Chloe behind him and looked at me coldly. Mom, to be honest, if you hadn't gone late, Dad wouldn't have died. In his final moments, he probably wouldn't have wanted to see you again. Trembling, I pulled out the note had left me from my embrace. But your dad said the people he loved most were us. How could he not want to see me? Wasn't your dad trying to avenge us when he died? Was your dad's last a lie? I don't believe it. I want to ask your dad myself. I rushed forward like a madwoman. Ethan hadn't expected me, who had always been submissive, to suddenly change so much today, and he was instantly at a loss. At the critical moment, Chloe shouted, Stop fighting. Listen to Grace. She's Mr. Marcus's wife and your mother. She has the right to see Mr. Marcus off. As she spoke, she winked at Ethan, and he immediately changed his mind and agreed to let me go with them. However, the two of them packed their things unusually slowly. It took over half an hour to complete a simple death certificate. When we were ready to leave with the belongings, the car wouldn't start. A group of police officers approached with their badges. Excuse me, which one is Marcus's family? Someone reported him for alleged intentional assault. Please come with us. Ethan's eyes instantly lit up, and he pointed at me. Her. This is my mom, Marcus's wife. Mom, go ahead and go, I'll take care of Dad's funeral arrangements. Seeing that the police were clearly prepared, I clutched my chest tightly. What? My husband just passed away, the company is gone, and there's still a lawsuit? I. With that, I rolled my eyes and fainted on the spot. In my ears were Ethan's distraught shouts and the police's urging. Finally, out of necessity, the police could only take Ethan away. The moment the police car left the hospital, I slowly opened my eyes. Chloe hadn't reacted yet, so I directly stuffed the death certificate into her hand. Secretary, I just remembered I forgot my bag. It's still in the hospital room. It might be scary for an outsider like you to stay with my husband alone, so I'll have to trouble you to retrieve it. Chloe shook her head like a rattle. How can I do that? I'm afraid you'll get agitated and have another incident. It's better if I stay with you. I've given you my husband's death certificate. If something really happens to me, it won't delay important matters. What else are you worried about? At this moment, her mind was a complete mess, and she thought my words made sense. She took the death certificate, got out of the car, and headed straight for the hospital room. As soon as she entered the building, I got into the driver's seat. Without meddling, the car started easily, and I sped off. But I wasn't going to the funeral, I was going to the beach. My husband's body lay quietly in the back seat, and I said softly, "Husband, do you remember the vow you made when we got married? You said you were most afraid of water, and if you ever betrayed me, you wished to drown. Heaven has eyes, your curse has come true. But if I had the chance, I truly wish none of this had ever happened." As I spoke, I saw Marcus's eyelashes flutter. Oh no, had the medication worn off? But it was still 10 minutes to the beach. I floored the accelerator. My suddenly rang. Where did you take Dad? Are you crazy? Come back. Where else? Dead people go to the funeral, of course. Ethan cursed uncontrollably. Bullshit. My car has a GPS tracker, yo. You didn't go to the funeral at all. If you dare to lay a finger on Dad, I won't let you get away with it. Damn it, I forgot about that. But it didn't matter. I sneered. Your dad is dead, why are you so anxious? Can he come back to life and be killed again? Ethan was afraid of being exposed, so he swallowed his words. Fine, you're good. I'm coming over there now. Just you wait. After hanging up, I heard Marcus's phone vibrating frantically. During a red light, I pulled it out and found dozens of missed calls. The caller ID was Sweetie, and the number was Chloe's. My heart, which had just softened, instantly turned completely cold. If I didn't make him pay this time, I would have lived in vain. In the last 2 minutes of the drive, I spotted a traffic cop pursuing me in the rearview mirror. The siren blared, telling me to pull over, suspecting me of kidnapping. As I looked down, Marcus's lips moved. I was so agitated I almost threw up. I punched him in the temple and slammed on the brakes. The death certificate I gave Chloe at the hospital was just a copy. After the traffic cop saw the original in my hand, he offered condolences and let me go. When the car stopped at the beach, I tied Marcus to a rope and watched him slowly descend. My buzzed with countless messages. Ethan called me heartless and cruel. Phone came one after another. But I didn't look at a single one, only staring intently at Marcus's body. Perhaps it was a delusion, but his legs suddenly moved. The sea burial supervisor's eyes widened. What's going on? Is he not dead? My heart skipped a beat, and at that moment, Ethan's scream reached my ears. What are you doing? Let down. I quickly shoved the death certificate at him. How is that possible? You must have seen wrong. While he was looking away, I reached in and violently pressed the button. With a loud splash, Marcus's body plunged into the water. The scent of blood from his wounds instantly attracted a group of sharks. The moment Ethan arrived with Chloe, they witnessed Marcus's body being devoured in one gulp. Both screamed in unison. No, Chloe seemed to have suffered an immense shock. All strength was instantly drained from her body, and she collapsed to the ground. Her face was ashen, and she murmured softly, "How could this happen? You said there were no problems, Marcus, you lied to me. Why did you leave me alone?" A glint of glee flashed in Ethan's eyes, then he turned and feigned extreme grief, questioning me. "Mom, what have you done? Are you crazy? That was my real dad. How could you do that to his body?" I blinked, my expression full of innocence. "Son, what are you talking about? Your dad is gone. Mom is kindly helping him with his funeral arrangements. You don't know your dad. He didn't have many things he liked, but he loved looking at the sea. When we were in love, he always told me that when he died, he wanted me to bury him in the ocean so he could enjoy the freedom and save me money on a burial plot." As I spoke, tears welled up, making me look like a pitiful wife who had lost her husband. Mom never expected everything to happen so suddenly. that your dad would just be gone. Now it's done, Mom has fulfilled his last. I'm sure he'll be smiling in heaven. Marcus, rest in peace. I'll take care of the family, don't worry. No sooner had I spoken than Chloe rushed forward like a madwoman, tearing at my collar. Her hands clamped tightly around my neck. Bitch! You did this on purpose, didn't you? Mr. Marcus doesn't like seawater at all. He almost drowned as a child, he hates water more than anything in this life. You're just deliberately retaliating against us. I was scared stiff, my face pale, and I struggled desperately. Secretary, what are you saying? I don't understand. How would you know what my husband liked? This is a private matter between a husband and wife. Chloe pushed me away and turned to plead with Ethan. Mr. Ethan, hurry, save him. There's still T.I. Me. If we go into the water now to save him, Mr. Marcus might still be alive. But no matter how much she cried out, Ethan remained rooted to the spot, not moving an inch. I watched their expressions, my heart filled with ridicule. My own son, whom I had raised, could kill and frame me for the sake of the company and his cheating father. Now that the situation had changed, if Marcus died, all the family's assets would belong to Ethan. How could he possibly risk saving his own enemy? Sure enough, Ethan's eyes darted around, and he quickly put on an act of being heartbroken to the point of suffocation. Miss Chloe, it's too late. I just saw with my own eyes that Dad was torn to shreds by the sharks. And eaten. Besides, those are sharks. How can I save him alone? You can't ask me to go to my death for Dad's sake. He cried out with genuine emotion. Chloe instantly panicked and rushed into the control room. How are you doing your jobs? Who allowed you to throw a living person into the sea? Do you know this is murder? Why are you just standing there? Go save him. I'm telling you, if anything happens to my husband, not one of you here today will get off easy. No sooner had she spoken than the staff present were shocked. Miss, what are you talking about? What living person? This is a sea burial site. There are no living people who come in here. That lady came with a death certificate. A document issued by the hospital couldn't be fake. You can talk nonsense about food, but you can't talk nonsense about people, or I'll sue you for defamation. The staff were afraid of getting into trouble, and besides, they wouldn't have imagined that someone would actually bring a living person here. For a moment, the atmosphere became incredibly tense. My chance had come. My eyes darted around, and I grabbed Ethan's clothes. I cried hysterically. What is Secretary saying? What does her husband mean? What exactly is her relationship with your dad? You know too, don't you? You and your dad were conspiring against me. You kept me in the dark all alone. How could you do this to me? Wait, what does throwing a living person into the sea mean? Didn't your dad die? Ethan, what in the world is going on? Ethan's patience ran out, and he finally roared. Enough. Isn't it messy enough? Can you just shut up? Dad is already dead, you saw it with your own eyes. Why are you asking? You ask me, who am I supposed to ask? If you hadn't taken it upon yourself to throw him into the sea, would things have escalated to this point? Just shut up. He strode into the control room and grabbed the frantic Chloe. Chloe, Dad is gone. Don't talk nonsense. He looked up and smiled apologetically at the staff. I apologize. This is my dad's secretary. The company is having problems and is going bankrupt. She might just be unable to handle the shock. Thank you for your trouble. I'm truly sorry. So, is he being rescued or not? What a mess. I've worked my whole life and never seen such bizarre people. The staff were grumbling. Ethan stepped forward, offering smiles and cigarettes. No rescue needed. A dead person would just be cremated anyway. Don't worry about it, I apologize for the trouble. As he helped Chloe out, she was still staring in the direction of the ocean. The sea, which had been tumultuous due to the sharks, was now calm. Ethan shot me a hateful glare. Making a scene, making a scene. Are you satisfied now? You actually believe the nonsense secretary said in a moment of panic? Were you hit in the head by a door? Dad's last was to be cremated. You insisted on going against his will. How could you have become like this? I'm calling you Mom one last time. Do you think you deserve that title? Are you fit to be a mother? Fit to be a wife? You are the culprit for things turning out this way today. The commotion attracted many tourists by the sea. And lady, unable to watch any longer, stepped in to advise, Young, how can you talk to Yo? You are mother like that? Mother and son should reconcile. If you have a problem, talk it out properly. As a family, there's no obstacle you can't overcome if you work together. Ethan, with red eyes, pushed the elderly aside. What do you know? If your husband was killed by you, would your son still be grateful to you? You don't understand anything. My family is bankrupt, all because of my mother. Now my dad has also been killed by her. She clearly had a chance to save him, but she just stood by and watched him die of a heart attack on the spot. If you don't believe me, you can ask my dad's secretary, she was there too. Chloe finally recovered from her nightmare, wiped away her tears, and nodded earnestly. Yes, Mr. Ethan is right, that's exactly what happened. Not only that, Grace insisted on going against Mr. Marcus's last to have him sea buried. As a result, his body somehow collided with a shark and was swallowed by the fish. Mr. Marcus, I'm so sorry. I didn't properly fulfill your last. It's all my fault. If you're watching from heaven, please blame only me. Grace didn't mean it. The more pitifully she cried, the more indignant the onlookers became about my actions. I said nothing, my gaze fixed on my son. I thought that even if we had conflicts, I had still raised him for 25 years, so there must be some family bond. But at this moment, I finally understood. In his eyes, I was not a mother at all. I was merely the biggest obstacle on his path to glory. Since he was heartless and cruel, I no longer needed to care about this son. The insults from the crowd grew more intense. I tried to defend myself. But no sooner had I opened my mouth than someone picked up a stone and threw it at my head. Caught off guard, I was hit, and blood instantly gushed from my forehead. It wasn't me, it really wasn't me. Everyone, calm down and listen to me. Someone kicked me in the stomach. The sharp pain made me instantly collapse, and my vision blurred. Talk nonce. NSE. Save your breath for your husband underground. She looks decent, but her heart is so vicious. It's probably you who arranged for your husband to go out and attack someone. You've probably got a lover outside and are eager to move up. You shameless slut. You've disgraced all women. Through my blood-red vision, Ethan embraced Chloe and quietly left the scene. The last trace of familial affection in my heart completely died. I don't know how much time passed, but my pain became numb, and my consciousness grew hazy. Someone gently patted my face. Grace? What are you doing here? Wake up, wake up. Someone. Help her into the car quickly. She can't get hurt. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying in a hospital room. Henry saw me wake up and immediately poured me a glass of hot water. Are you okay? What happened? Why are you so beaten up? What about Marcus, that beast? Did you let him go? Or, he's dead. My voice was hoarse, and the burning pain in my throat was nothing compared to the pain in my heart. Henry sighed upon hearing this. So it's true? What are you planning to do next? I've helped you with what you asked, but it's your family matter after all, so I shouldn't interfere too much. To be honest, I felt something was off when Marcus came to my house that day. He said a lot of strange things that left me completely confused. The project we invested in was initially introduced by him. Later, when the project failed and our money was gone, I didn't say anything, but he suddenly claimed he'd put in all his savings, like he was possessed. Henry looked at me tentatively. Never mind, what's past is past. I've also found out where the funds went. You handle it yourself. It's just your son. I forced a bitter smile. Tell me, at this point, what else could I not accept? Henry took out his phone, and the screen displayed the trending. My scandalous act of abandoning my husband to die and going against his last had already dominated the headlines. In the comments section, there was an overwhelming tide of condemnation. Ethan posted an update on his own account. He said he could forgive me, but he couldn't forgive himself for having such a mother. The implication was that he intended to disown me with the vast number of netizens as witnesses. This way, even if he took Marcus's inheritance later, I wouldn't have the right to contest it. Looking at the familiar profile picture of Ethan on the screen, taken last year when our family went to Palm together. How happy we were back then. I never imagined things would change so quickly. I understand. Thank you, Henry. I'll resolve this matter as soon as possible, and I'll sign the letter of understanding for the case, so you don't need to worry. After left the hospital room, I took out my phone and accessed the home system. On the screen, Ethan eagerly embraced Chloe as soon as he entered the house. Chloe, I know you blame me, but I didn't do it on purpose. Who knew Mom would faint after the police were called? If I had withdrawn the report then, wouldn't she have become suspicious? I could only go with the police. Chloe pushed him away forcefully, her voice choked. Stop acting. I'm not your mom, I'm not that stupid. I won't believe what you say. Ethan, did you plan from the start to make it a real death? You've hated Mr. Marcus for a long time, haven't you? But he's your dad. Ethan's patience ran out, and he finally roared. Enough. If I could, I'd rather not have him as a dad. You're only 5 years older than me. How could he be with you? He's old enough to be your father. Don't talk to me about true love, I'm not an idiot. You and Dad, weren't you just after his money? Ethan went wild, pulling out bank one after another and throwing them in front of Chloe. See, all his money is with me now. I'll open a new company abroad, and we'll earn even more money. No one can control us anymore. He pulled Chloe into his embrace and kissed her fiercely. Eli, you're mine, and you can only be mine. No matter what you say, my dad won't come back to life. I'm younger than him. Anything he couldn't do, anything he couldn't give you, I can provide. Will you be with me? Let's never part. Chloe merely feigned resistance for 2 minutes before melting into her son's embrace like a puddle of water. All right, then promise me you won't betray me, you won't cheat. Okay, I promise you. I won't follow that old fool's path. I couldn't watch anymore and turned off the monitoring feed. I couldn't believe the son I'd raised myself would turn out this way. That evening, my son sent me a text message. Mom, this is the last time I'll call you that. If you still acknowledge me as your son, then go public online and apologize. I was furious and immediately retorted. Dream on. My conscience is clear. You're the ones who should apologize. My son's phone call came in the very next second, his voice dripping with fury. Who are you yelling at? Have you lost your mind? I'm doing this for your own good. If you don't apologize, fine, just wait to be cyberbullied to death by the entire internet. My dad is already dead because of you. Let's see who'll claim your body when you die. Oh, and I'm leaving the country tomorrow. I'm never coming back. You can just pretend you never had a son. I didn't say a word and hung up the phone call. Soon after, Henry sent me a text message, informing me that my son had already arranged for a meeting with 2 business partners and bank representatives for negotiations at the company tomorrow. Once the negotiations were successful, my son would be able to take Marcus's lifelong savings and run away with Chloe. Unfortunately, I wouldn't give him that chance. The next day, when I arrived at the conference room door with the evidence, the negotiations inside were already in their final stage. My son was cheerfully shaking hands with the other party. If there are no issues, let's sign then. My employee EES will handle the follow-up work with you. The door was suddenly flung open, and I stepped in with a cold smile. Well, my son has become quite accomplished, hasn't he? Negotiating partnerships without any capital. Did you inherit that from your dad? My son's face instantly clouded over. What are you doing here? Who let you in? Where's security? Get this person out of here. I took a step back and raised my live streaming phone. Just try to touch me. Since you're so in the right, why are you afraid of me showing up? Or have you done something wrong, fearing I'll disrupt your plans? You're right, the internet always seeks justice. Since everyone is so curious about the truth behind my husband's death, why don't we let everyone witness it today? Before my son could react, I pulled documents from my file folder and scattered them forcefully into the air. Ethan, I know all about your plans, including your father's death, and how you've been secretly transferring marital assets behind my back. Enraged, my son lunged forward, desperately trying to tear the papers floating in the air. But I had printed too many copies, he couldn't possibly destroy them all by himself. The moment I finished speaking, the live stream instantly exploded. Hundreds of thousands of netizens immediately began speculating that there was more to the story. The business partners and bank representatives, fearing trouble, made excuses and fled before signing the contract. My son's eyes turned red with fury, and he grabbed my neck. When did you find out? Are you not happy until you've completely ruined me? Are you even my real mother? As I looked at my son's familiar yet strange face, 2 tears unexpectedly fell. I wish I wasn't. But unfortunately, I didn't have a choice. With his plan in ruins, my son grabbed a chair, about to bring it down on me. The next second, the door was violently kicked open, and a group of police officers rushed in. Stop right there. Ethan, yo. You're suspected of assault and economic crimes. You're coming with us. My son's hands and feet were restrained by the police, and he cursed furiously. Grace, you wretch, you just wait. You deserve to suffer a terrible end. Serves you right that my dad didn't want you, you got what you deserved. Unfortunately, his words could no longer stir any emotion within me. Before, I was consumed by the grief of losing my husband and by my son's accusations of disappointment. I allowed them to take everything that belonged to me. From that moment on, I no longer had a son. Chloe was eventually apprehended by the police at the airport. The day the trial concluded, the company that Marcus and I had founded together reopened. Only this time, my business partner was someone new. Such is life, people come and go. Perhaps, that's just life. Thank you for tuning in to today's story. If you enjoyed this video, Please like it and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.